Hello. Extra long countdown. Sorry, I was chatting with Nakomi. Lost track of time. How's it going? I will. I will end him. Zardath. Thank you for 47 months of benevolent rule. Zardath is such a, like... I'm not even sure. It makes me think, like, 60s sci-fi? Or, like, those really weird cartoons. I don't know if they were 60s or 70s cartoons, the sci-fi cartoons. They would show them on, like... I think they were on at, like, late night or early morning Cartoon Network, or maybe Boomerang. Well, I mean, it could definitely apply to fantasy as well, for sure. I can't deny that. But, like, what came to my mind was, like, some sort of interplanetary emperor. Emperor Zardath from the planet something. I might just be thinking like that because of The Invincible. Except for it didn't really have that kind of a theme, but it also sort of kind of did. Yeah, He-Man maybe as well. Never watched Power Rangers. Yeah, at the time that Power Rangers was on the rise, I was in the childhood phase of thinking I was like a little adult. And I didn't understand why everybody liked this silly Power Rangers and Pokemon stuff. What the heck? This is silly. Much to my later regret. I went all in on Nintendo and Ninja Turtles. I never did check out of video games, though. I just stuck with video games. Yeah, I really don't... I don't love it when people shame people for enjoying things that, especially with the, like, you're too old for that. I mean, there are some things maybe where that's applicable, but not for a lot of the stuff people use that for. Hold on, I have to arrest Pico. Stop resisting. This is the only time where it's appropriate to not ACAB. Because Pico has what I am definitely going to describe as a criminal mode. This is like, he's genuinely an asshole sometimes. Not even like, I guess, yeah, full cat, yeah, maybe. Like, he's generally mild-mannered and or just kind of keeps to himself, just whatever. But occasionally, he's like, all right. It's time. For the next hour, I'm gonna get up on shit, and I'm gonna knock this video game off the shelf. And then I'm gonna knock this video game off the shelf. Then I'm gonna go over to this other shelf. And get ready for this one. I'm gonna knock this video game off the shelf. Yeah, he just gets, like, into villain mode. He's getting up there. I want to say that he's, like... Gosh. He's probably 11 or 12. Yeah, he would have to be. Got him. He was a sort of rescue, not through like official processes, not like from a shelter. He was found outside by acquaintances of ours. And they wanted us to just take care of him. And then I got kind of attached to him. I regret it now. I'll say that. Nah, he's cool. He's definitely not a lovey cat. He's very... How do I describe it? He's a loner, kinda. He's always been like that. Like, even as a kitten, he wasn't... he wasn't super friendly. He's not... mean. I don't know. He just doesn't like being social. Some cats are just like that. Some cats have that, that personality, right? Some cats are extremely lovey. Some of them are just like, nah, leave me alone. Nah. Yeah. Yeah, Pico's not quite like that. He's kind of sweet, actually, in his antisocialness. Because he never gets, like, mean about it or mad about it. And also, it's really hard to discern, like, when is the... like, when the stars align and Pico wants to be lovey-dovey and he wants to be pet and stuff. It occasionally happens, where he'll start rubbing on your leg and he'll kind of sort of let you pet him. But if you start petting him and he hasn't initiated this encounter, first he looks at you like... He looks at what's happening with an expression of like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? As you're like petting him. So his head is like, is up in this like look of surprise. And if you continue, he will do that thing where they bite you, but it's not a bite. You know what I mean? They give you the old, you feel these four things? Yeah, you know what that means. Not play. Yeah, more like warning. He places the teeth upon thee. Yeah. Yeah, warning teeth, yeah. It's not even, I don't even necessarily, it's not like angry. I think it's sweet that he likes us enough that he's not gonna get like super pissed and not gonna genuinely bite. Like, he's gonna give you the, alright, look. Stop this. Or. And I think that at heart, he is a sweetie. Like, there's definitely things that he tolerates that surprise me, particularly since Bun has joined the household. Bun is a cat-sized dog. In fact, Bun is a little bit smaller than Pico. And she's also a little ball of energy. And she's also much, much more dexterous or athletic than Chew. Mobile. She can go where Pico goes. Like, Chew is too much of a potato, and he has too much like leg problems to do certain things easily. So he can't like just jump up on chairs, right? So if Pico doesn't want to deal with Chew, you can just jump up on a chair. Not so much with Bun. Bun just, first of all, she doesn't care if she lives or dies. And she will absolutely leap to anything. She just assumes that someone's going to catch her or that it's going to work out somehow, some way. So she can get up wherever he can go, and apart from a couple choice things, like the outer limits of what a cat can do, she cannot, right? We have a fold-up mattress thing in here that's leaning against the wall in portrait mode. I didn't know how to describe this better. Like, it's tall against the wall. That's not a better description. What am I saying? Anyway, Pico can get on top of that. She cannot. She's not. She can jump, but she can't cat jump. She also doesn't have the climbing claws, which Pico does. But the thing is, he doesn't really actually try to get away from her that much. I think he wants to get away when she's in play mode. I don't think that he likes playing with her very much. But we have this sort of half chair, this rolling half chair. It's got that cushion on it. Pico likes to nap on that. And Bun also likes to nap on that. So I often just find them laying together. And he's not stopping it. He's not leaving. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Swear. Exactly. And he likes to be around us. So I don't know. He's not a cat with a hateful personality. He really just prefers his personal space. Which is fair. Anywhoomst, I was a little late today. My apologies. It's one of those days. Again. It's often one of those days, as we all know. Although, I did get a nice present from Nakomi today. I mentioned in the Discord already, but Nakomi got me a treadmill. Yeah, I'm a walker now. Well, not just any treadmill, but it's one of those super slim treadmills that's just like, it's just the mill. It's just a low profile one that fits under your desk, so I can have that under my standing desk, and then, you know, when I need a break from sitting on my ass, I can do a little exercise. And it's pretty nice. It's really nice. There's an app that works with it that does sort of like you can race people. It has like things where you like walk down a path and it's doing like a 3D. You have like an avatar or whatever. Which is kind of cool. So it's good because I've definitely been feeling, especially this year, especially with how my job has been recently, been feeling that I've been like way too sedentary and I'm just not getting much exercise, and that's bad. So it's a really nice, convenient step towards fixing that. The text, yeah, I don't know if that counts as the narrator, but the last time we started it up, I put in the time again, and it said, next time, go ahead and put in just your favorite time of the day. 4:20, your favorite time of the day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious. how accurate 4:20 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 4:20 p.m.? I mean, it's going to be that in 4 minutes somewhere. So what does accurate really mean in this case? I should wait 4 minutes and then leave it dead in the center. Oh shit, Pubs, let me know when to confirm. I'll be watching chat. You tell me when. You say the word. I don't really need you to do that. It's 4 minutes away. I can look at my own clock. You don't have to do anything, Pubs. Forget I said anything. I don't want to put this pressure on you. I don't want you to have this weight on your shoulders. Well, that's true, Em. The pendulum has swung back, Pubs. Please, please let me know when to confirm the accuracy of this time. Oh man, the anticipation. Oh God, what's gonna happen in 3 minutes? What do you think? Gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm really excited right now. It's so perfect. I think there's only 2 minutes left. Can we get a Pubs update? A pub date? Yes. Firefox. Well, no. I'm not being very accurate. I feel like the middle is correct for this, right? We are literally doing it's 4:20 somewhere. That's what's happening right now. We're just waiting for it all to come together. Oh my God. It's less than a minute away, I think. I'm not sure. Only Pubs truly knows. Oh, well, okay, and Omni. But Pubs is the anointed one. I'm not going to let Omni just stink in here and usurp the throne that easily. Did I say stink in here? I think I did. I'm not going to fix it. I meant sneak. I meant sneak. Oh man. No, I need the okay sign from Pubs. Ah! You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. This is never going to end, is it? Oh no, I just clicked begin the game. Is this going to put us where we were?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Did I even have
Stanley
a different
worked
option?
for a company in a big building.
Wait, the balloons
where
are here.
He was employee number 427.
Were the balloons always here?
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor.
I want to say last night y'all told me it would be okay. Did I click the wrong thing?
And in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made.
Oh, did you?
Oh. And Stanley.
I missed that, Zand. Also, don't we have an XKCD
and then
command?
One day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
They weren't always here.
Complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
Rudy, I don't think those were always here.
Frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest
I would have
time.
noticed.
But as he came to his
I would have noticed the balloons.
Senses, he got up from his desk.
No,
and
don't gaslight me. No. They're not here. They're only in the video?
All of his co-workers were
why are they only in the video?
Stanley decided to go
That's
to the meeting.
harder.
Perhaps he had simply missed a
That's
memo.
harder than if they were in the game. Isn't it? Shut up.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, I guess I'll have to go see if the new content sign is there. I did put this in as my favorite time, and I still can't open this door. The input computer is not present. Unless it was in the first room, which the door is probably closed. No?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay. Oh, it is here. Okay.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show
Also,
you.
I am a big fan of the happy narrator. I thought it was always going to be an antagonistic relationship where the narrator's always putting you down, but I enjoy the silly narrator. I think. I'm honestly not sure if the narrator is making fun of us in a just extremely extended way.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark.
Yeah, we did the
Any
line.
new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra
Also, I really
deluxe
like this
nonsense.
music.
I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Even though it's like
Yes, you see, isn't this far
intentionally
superior
cynical.
to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from
We're all
the ground
scooping
up.
together here.
Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions.
Anonymous,
This
thank you for the
is
gift
what
sub.
fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features
Pack,
I've been
thank you for the
developing
raid.
for it.
Welcome,
I figure
Wanderers.
that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
We can go back to the whole...
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
I'm not gonna redo the things I already did, I think. Let's see. In fact, I think I did almost everything
Calling
here.
it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
We need to redo all the things? Alright. I'm gonna try to just blaze through them.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come along for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
I have to. I have to bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket? Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I
did
think
the
that
same
in
thing I
new
did last
version,
time.
The office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
It did save that, which is very suspicious. Very suspicious. Yeah, that one it remembers, but why?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then. Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
A real hole enjoyer. I want to get to my favorite part of the hole. The fucking light show.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're
Aggressive
here to
divot,
do and
yeah.
hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
This voice actor reminds me... I keep thinking of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which what I'm really thinking of is the movie and Stephen Fry. And Stephen Fry would have worked in this as well. And vice versa. This guy, I think, would be great for a Hitchhiker's Guide audiobook.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation.
I keep
It was working
imagining
just
this
a moment
voice
ago.
talking
Try it
about
again.
the last few thoughts of a sperm whale falling through the clouds alongside a potted plant.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to
At
fix
some
this.
point, I
I'm out.
think I
Goodbye,
did.
Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more
But
time with it than you could ever have asked for.
long ago.
It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Now, time for the best part of Hole. I'm gonna be slamming through these because I want to see as many as possible. Well, some of them I don't really super have to slam through because, like, you only have a few perspectives.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip. here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Settings World Champion. Well, what the hell? Is that a path up there? No. You heard Jim in the game. Yeah, the sound of the bucket is... well, it's just always there. Settings World Champion. I don't understand. Apparently it's nothing. I think there's nothing left but the exit. No. Get the fuck out of here. Mostly infinite jest. It's funny how this game has its own sort of self-spoilers. Like the internal references to things that you maybe have experienced. Covision. Whatever, man. Y'all have sitting on your ass just watching Vision, which is well-known, better Vision than streamer Vision. Okay? Always has been. It's been a fucking decade. Thank you. Thank you. It was not special. It was just Gun Day. I didn't do any sort of celebration. Still haven't done any sort of celebration. Hey, there's our dead tree. Our dead tree friend. I feel like there can't be, at this point, something that's like huge and obvious that I'm missing. It has to be something subtle. I miss button. I have. I definitely hit print screen while I was in a no screenshots area, which is that just anywhere where that sign is present, because it's here and it's also that hallway over there. Print screen, print screen, print screen, print screen. Or do I have to bind the fucking screenshot fucking button? Do I have to go to that degree? How do I even do that? Press none. Can I not bind it here? I don't know what information Steam shows in the settings, so please hold. Oh yeah, wow. You open it up and it just shows your fucking whole home address and social security number and baby photo and naked photo. Let's see here. Where would this be? Steam settings is getting big enough that they really ought to have like a typable filter at this point. Where do you bind this at? Where do you bind anything at in this? Would it be interface? No. In-game? Ah. Okay, there we go. Nope, not. There we go. All right. Ta-da. Did that work? It did. Okay. Resume.
Come now. You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Yeah, every current generation console has a screenshot button. Wow. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? What's the Russian spy in Doctor Strangelove like? I'm just stealing myself for the fact that you guys are going to revert to this mode of like, well, we're all geniuses because we've already watched someone else play this game. Which is as good as us figuring it out ourselves. Whereas Co... Look at this guy. I am going to lose my mind. I know there's other shit to do, but I can't find it. Well, Al, you're part of the amalgam that comprises chat. What? Why did the music start?
Would you like a hot beverage?
Yes, please.
Chai chai?
Yes, please.
You're so cute. I love that you don't like this. Why are they so cute when you're annoyed?
It's weird that it played a little bit of music when I walked up to the door. For nothing to happen. Also, the narrator is just not talking. Ever again, apparently. Well, here's what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to leave. And you're not going to tell me what I didn't do. And you're not going to act all like, well, I know it. He didn't see the thing. You're just going to accept.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
That I'm
Ready
too
to
stupid
move on now?
to see whatever it is that you saw. You're part of the amalgam that is chat.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
more jumps.
Sort of. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
Is this a
I
confession?
wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. with care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Wasn't this what you were
Could it
complaining
possibly
about?
work? I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising
That's
conviction,
gonna be the joke.
"This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh. I thought it was just gonna be Ultra Deluxe. I love this. I also really like this music. Thank
Feels
you.
like you got the towel out for the chai.
Got it out for my glasses. I gotta get ready to play the Stanley Parable 2.
Well, that's why it's $25. There's two.
Yeah, the audio is all great. Red is the new orange. No?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on
Alrighty.
the desk, telling him what buttons
Thank you
to
for the
push,
chai.
how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did
I'm sorry,
every
Orange
day,
Bleed.
every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
The balloons are here this time. They're actually present in the game, which makes way more sense. I was reminded of that I hadn't been to CGP Gray's channel for a bit. And then yesterday I finally stopped by there and played the rock, paper, scissors game. Did any of you play that? Four, two, one, I think. And then out. I was really feeling it at first. And then it all went to hell. There's someone I've been neglecting, someone I've forgotten about. Why does that sound so familiar? What? It's from this game? Did that happen earlier in the game? A lot has happened. A lot has happened. A lot has
co-workers
happened.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Orange
decided to go to
Bleed,
the meeting
thank you
room.
for
Perhaps he had
the
simply missed a memo.
Prime sub. For 11 months. The way that that was reported in Twitch chat was so confusing. It looked like it was a new Prime sub, but you've been subbed for 11 months.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I like work. I just hate my boss. The bucket. The bucket is here, everyone. Wait, what? Why is this here?
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh no. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. You'd have to play this game for the rest of your life. Like, what happens in this situation? Oh. Oh no. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's a fucking mess, Orange. It's a mess. It is very good. It's an extremely well-written game.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Basically, for any of you who aren't familiar with this game, this is basically humanity's first attempt at AI-generated content without the AI. It's just all manual. One moment, I have to investigate a shenanigan situation. Okay. Shenanigan investigated.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Yeah, so basically, you have all these branching paths.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
We've been here before, and all of this is new.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Mainly because of the fact that we have a bucket this time.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
I'm not okay. So far, this game has been me doing sort of random stuff and then having moments of total anguish when I realize the horrible mess I've created for myself. And all it is just walking through doors. Right. Yeah. You cannot break this game. This game breaks you.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
I wonder if there's an episode of Boundary Break about this game. Like, basically, I got a bucket, and now I have to redo everything I've ever done. Everything I've ever done. Every choice I've made.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Because of this. You need a map. You need to be making a map. It's gonna be fucking impossible to do just all in my head.
Good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or
Fuck!
how this bucket was speaking.
Fuck!
It should have alarmed him, of course,
No!
because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced
No.
that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the
fuck
bucket
you.
asked.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I thought about, like, do I want to go that way first, maybe? I didn't... I'm not being yelled at.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh my god. How is this How is
Now
this
then,
possible?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Yes.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
I can't get closer to it.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Wait, what? I don't have that button.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket? Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket.
But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Oh, man.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now the rope isn't here. What? Why? What does that mean? Oh no, I'm back to square one on the inputs.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
Are there multiples
How
of this as well?
insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Is this... I have to know.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Ah, but he didn't, though.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, you're just supposed to... I did it a weird way. Here we go.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Cool. Now what? We could either go in the vent, or I could drop to my death.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it.
Oh, shit.
Still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Figurine Finders Committee meeting today? That wasn't always here, was it? It can't have been. Don't fucking gaslight me. Don't you fucking even start.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
This was not here. I would have noticed this. I would have noticed that. I definitely would have noticed that.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
I almost forgot about Bucket. I'm super fucking sure that they were not there.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I don't want to wonder about that, Owl.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Everything. Like, what if I take this side path thing again? Are we gonna do the is it a bucket or not game again, or is something else going to happen? You know, I have no fucking idea. I have no
Good,
idea what this
said the
game.
bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Yeah.
But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Now
He
I'm
was
just
firmly
living the
convinced
bucket
that the
life.
bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did
Yeah, there's a
whatever
path
the
over
bucket
there,
asked.
but it's probably not accessible. Probably. I have actually never been up here. I've never ridden the cargo lift all the way up and got off. Oh, you mean that there? I just did that. Yeah, I just did that.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
What dark room? I guess there's nowhere else to go but the room that is absolutely not dark. Oh, that room.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What have I done?
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now. Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how red they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Oh. Oh. We're gonna walk back to the two doors. Wait, it has a little fence on it now.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke.
Oh,
Out on the fly, no need to overthink things.
They took away the ramp. And the fence is... There's a fence here now. Wow. Wow. Guess this game isn't as open as it seemed. So much for branching paths. Hmm? I would. I already thought that 15 times before I even got off the lift. Before I even got to the lift.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Wait. What? I mean, what did I even do? I thought we were supposed to repeat our steps and he was going to do the bucket voice different. But then I walked up here and there was nothing, and then the door just closed in my face. I hesitated at the doorway? Is that what I did wrong? I guess this is my liminal prison, huh? Weirdly. I wonder how many other people have been trapped in this L. Well, the hesitating would break it because they didn't plan that trigger very well. Like, the way all the triggers have worked so far is that, like, a door closes behind you, but usually after you're quite clear of it. But in this case, it closed in my face. If I hadn't hesitated, I would have been clear of the door, basically. But instead, it shoved me back into this hallway, where this door is already locked, and yeah. I hesitated, you know? I hesitated in the face of the enemy, and I paid the price. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Oh, yeah.
Stanley had felt the
Yeah,
bucket
there's supposed to
calling
be
him, telling
another
him
bend
that
in the hallway.
employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his
Yes,
left
always-
to go back to the meeting room.
Always smash through.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the...
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I
well,
was
even with
joking.
this,
Obviously,
I have the
bucket
option of
isn't
answering
talking
the
to you
phone
and telling you to
as
do
well,
things. Buckets
see.
can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see?
It's all so much
goodness.
work.
I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke?
God, why doesn't
Should I
this game have a
paused
skip
for
button?
longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it, but there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence
intermission.
your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Was it different? Did it say Jim?
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invaders who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
May Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So, with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay. Go on. Here you go. Just checking.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Are you munching it? Oh, okay.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
All right. We're going to power through.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready?
Oh.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
What's going on? Yeah, I think so, but like...
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When
Is
Stanley and the
something
bucket
happening?
came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay, apparently I can hold the doors closed if I need to. It's not different.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready?
I don't
When
think
Stanley
anything's
and the
happening
bucket
here.
came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
This is the same every time.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
This feels like a bug. Is this a bug? Because this is not how they normally go. It's fine. I'll go to the left now.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
The amazing thing here is that he said he was going to add a bunch of those gameplay elements from the Stanley Parable 2. And we have not even escaped Bucket. We have not even got past Bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place
Okay,
to
the
be.
balloons are there.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
We haven't even done door on the left.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious
Don't
fact.
keep saying that
He
to
was
me,
fully
Pubs.
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
There's just something so unsettling about you saying that. It's an inherently unsettling
here,
sentence.
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
It goes
Stanley
somewhere
once
down into
again
my
obeyed
soul
blindly.
and hurts me. I'm not even sure. Is it from this
Now pick up the
game?
phone,
Is it?
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home.
Is it
where
real
we can go
life?
about life together.
Did I have a child that I've forgotten that was kidnapped?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
I can't read it. I think it says I love my routine. Oh.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Ah.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
I just really like the music a lot. I really like the music in this part.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
It is. It is very
I'm having feelings.
Trent and Atticus.
The bucket. No.
Extremely.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Where's the input?
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
This game does make me feel like I'm losing my mind.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Ah, fuck. Okay, so it is that time. And once again, I must know what happens if I quit the game. Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm sure I'll be made to regret this tomorrow. Well, perhaps not tomorrow. Because it sounds like there's perhaps some rumblings of maybe some other different things happening tomorrow. Maybe. Anyway, I will be back. I really like this music. This is just all just revealing that I am just an absolute simp for Trent and Atticus. Anything that sounds like a little bit like the Facebook movie soundtrack or all the other shit they've done. All right. Thank you all for watching. As always, I'll be back tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye.